At Grosvenor High School in Durban today, the school is embroiled in a racism scandal. Pupils are allegedly being called monkeys. Now, KwaZulu-Natal's Education MEC Kwazi Mshengu says a panel is looking into the matter. Our senior reporter Dasen Thathiah is following developments for us. He joins us now live. So Dasen, let's start off with the claims around racism and the MEC eventually visiting, but things didn't end very well.
No, they didn't, Shahan. And let's look at the context here. So this is not one isolated incident, according to those pupils that are affected. They say that this has been a systematic problem. They've had this experience more than once, and there are more than one or a group of pupils that's affected by this. In the most recent incident, and that's the one that resulted in a protest last week. There were videos that went viral showing pupils protesting in the school property and outside. That was after a teacher or senior staff member allegedly called them monkeys. The MEC for Education says that there were also other derogatory terms that were allegedly used. Now, this is why there has been a panel that will start its work on Friday, and it will be looking at what some of those submissions are, what are the allegations, what are teachers being accused of, and what other problems exist at the school. So while Kwazi Mshengu's intentions were good when he came to the school to meet first with management there to find out what the problem was, unfortunately, at the same time, parents and other members of the EFF had gathered outside, and they were not happy with being outside. They wanted to be part of that meeting to hear firsthand. So by the time he addressed them and told them that, look, this is our proposal, we will have a panel, they were already upset. He didn't take any questions or rather any comments from them because he says that they should rather submit it to the panel. He said it was at that point that the meeting broke down, and that was the first of the scenes of chaos that we saw. I'll let you listen into what one of those EFF members was saying outside that meeting earlier.
You must tell this man that you are going to suspend this racist. You know the problem with you, ANC people. You are too scared of white people at the expense of your own kids.
It's very unfortunate that such a serious case regarding racism claims, right, is now being sidetracked because of these politicians who are taking over. So what's the MEC saying and responding to the disruptions as well as the allegations?
Well, it was very clear that there was a political influence there today, Shahan, because initially it started off, as I mentioned, with a group of parents, but it later developed into a large number of EFF members that had gathered and then caused these disruptions. In fact, at some point they had even come out to where Mshengu was about to address the pupils, and that meeting was also disrupted. So his first attempt at addressing the pupils didn't happen. He then addressed them later. But they were then contradicting what he had said inside, because they were calling for the students to take a stand, whereas the MEC was saying, look, let the process unfold, let us find out who's responsible, and let us ensure that we then suspend or fire who needs to be fired. So he also came out with a stern warning, the MEC, Mshengu, this is, saying that anyone who continues to disrupt schooling there will be dealt with. We can listen to what he had to say about that here.
We are not going to allow anyone to undermine the state, because disrupting a school is undermining the state and challenging the state. We are going to act with the police, as you can see that they are here now, and we are going to have clear plans with the MEC for community safety in the province, to say we want any parents who will be seen disrupting a school to be acted upon by the police decisively. And that is the message that we are communicating, because ultimately these learners must be able to perform. They must cover the curriculum. It is these learners who will be sitting at the end of the year for final examination. And the more they lose time because of their parents, it disadvantages them. And as Department of Education, we have a duty to protect these learners. We have even a duty to protect them from their parents. And that is why we said any parents who will dare come and disrupt school, not only this, but all schools in KwaZulu-Natal, will be met with the full might of the state.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Our senior reporter Dasen Thathiah following that story for us in Durban.